We've always been very close. We've almost been, more like best friends than mother and son, but mother comes first, and he has a hard time listening to me about that sometimes. But since he's been sober, we've regained our relationship back. We lost it there for several years, and since he's been sober, we've become even closer friends.
I really didn't know I was out of control. So I'd say when I got arrested was the first kind of like aha moment, like there's probably more to this than I really think. And then that's when I kind of realized, yeah, you may be suffering with addiction.
I was like, you just cannot continue to live here. If you're going to continue to do these drugs, you really need inpatient care. And he kept refusing. And now I guess we're at 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago almost now, when I finally said, you're out of here, and kicked him out on the street. And it was very upsetting. But I kept his phone turned on, so I had an idea of where he was and what he was doing. And I started Googling and found Isaiah House, on the internet. So I started, every day I was sending something on the phone about Isaiah House. I guess we went back and forth for about 6 months. He weighed about 100 pounds. He had this stupid bright red hair, and he just was not my son at all. And finally, I got a couple of phone calls from Wendy at Isaiah House, and I convinced him to go to Isaiah House, and that was the best thing that ever happened.
And in May of 2020, I get a call from my aunt saying, your dad is on his deathbed. He's fallen, he can't get up. You need to come see him. So I went to this trap house in the middle of downtown Lexington, had no idea where I was at. And my dad had fallen, couldn't get up. He's 62 at the time, alcoholic, drug addict, just like I was. So I sat down with him, we started talking, and I called an ambulance and got him to the hospital. I went and visited him every single morning for 3 weeks straight. So I started telling him about Isaiah House, because that's where I first got sober. I started telling him about the Johnson House, which was the sober living I went to. I started telling him about Jesus Christ, because I found my religion again. And when he was in the hospital, he said, I want to go to IH. Okay, cool. So I called Mark LaPalme, and I was like, I need help. He has no insurance. I don't know what to do. It's the first time we've talked. And Mark actually got him into IH. When I drove down to IH, that was the first time I'd seen any of those guys in a year and a half. And it was like family. And Mark sat down, he said, you need to come work for us. And from there, that's just where it's played out. I got a job opportunity to work with Isaiah House, and now I'm just connected in all parts. My dad went through there, he completed, he's still sober. He has a 1.5 years sober now. He has his own place. I've been working with IH for a little over 1.5 years now as peer support and client support. So I help people on a daily basis.
And I'm so proud of him. It's just like amazing just hearing him talk. It's like where you were when you were growing up, and then what the drug addiction did to him, and then where he's at now. He's my inspiration. He inspires me every day when he tells me about somebody that he helped, or I get to meet one of his new friends, or it's just amazing, the light that's in his eyes. I'm grateful for all the people, that he's met through Isaiah House, and just grateful for Jesus bringing him back to us, and just everything. It's a wonderful life.
I guess drug use started really heavy in my early 20s, 19, 20. I actually had a really bad wreck in 2008, which broke my jaw. I overdosed while I was driving. So that still wasn't an eye-opener for me. It just kind of got worse from there, especially because I got prescription medication. And I was able to piece together, about 5 years of sobriety. Doing the whole family thing. I had a stable job. We had the house, we had the cars, we had the kids. From the outside, everything looked really great. I was doing what I thought you were supposed to do to succeed, but I was still like miserable. And so I guess with myself. So I relapsed, and I, had my mom come pick up my kids because I felt like that was what was best for them. She filed for emergency custody of my children. And, when you're out there, it's self-pity. Like, how dare you do this to me? I'm a good mom. I did what was best. But that's ultimately, I guess, the eye-opener that got me to Isaiah House. Like, it's a different type of program here. Like, I was able to actually receive love and constructive criticism and build a relationship with, my God. And that completely transformed everything for me.
Never seen the light that I see in Ashley throughout the entire time that we've been together. Since she walked out those doors. True change.
Because I want other people to know that this does work, that it can work for you no matter how far you fell down, that like you can always get back up. You just have to work for it. And Isaiah House really, they saved a part of me that I didn't know was savable. Since then, like, we've completed our case plan with DCBS. Like, we have court, so we're working on getting our children back in our home before the end of the year. And now I get to work here and watch the light come on in other people's eyes, I'm third shift, so I get to sit up with the girls that can't sleep and tell them how this program worked for me, and, just stick and stay one more day. And you don't ever have to feel like this ever again. So it's quite humbling to sit here.